देवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. You had some question in the last class.
Yes, Prabhuji. I put it on your about that eminence, it is clear. Why is that word used? I mean, because eminence is that which is other than transcendence. So, that word, I mean, we've understood what all it's written over here, but that eminence word, why should it be used?
Immanence.
Immanence, yeah. Something is that is something other than transcendence. So why that word is only used? Like, let's write everything else except that word, no, that it is something other than transcendence. Because when you say im- immanence is some which is other than transcendence, then it means that it's just
So the Padma Purana shloka describes absolute reality manifests in four ways. Bhagavatam says that Vadanti tattvavidah tattvam yadjnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shapyate. Bhagavatam describes the absolute truth in three ways. Padma Puran mentions one more way, that is the Virat Roga. So Padma Puran uses four words: Paramurta, Aparamurta, Para Amurta, and Apara Amurta. These are the four words. Paramurta refers to the transcendental absolute truth, the transcendental form of Bhagavan, which can be realized only by pure Bhakti Yoga. Apara Murta. Murta means something which has a form. Apara Murta refers to the phenomenal absolute. Phenomenal means something which is belonging to this world. So it refers to the Vishwarupa because Vishwarupa is a material form of the Lord. So therefore the Apara adjective is there. Vishwarupa is made of all the different aspects of this universe. Apara Murta refers to the phenomenal absolute. And then there is Para Amurta. para, transcendental. And amurta. Amurta means without form. Transcendental but devoid of form. So this refers to the Brahman, the Nirvishesha Brahman. And then the fourth aspect is the apara amurta. So amurta, here amurta means, here the meaning of the word apara and amurta, that is the important point. Here the word amurta means not formless, but which is not visible. Because the Paramatma is not visible to our eyes. It's not visible to our eyes. Paramatma has a form, but it's not visible to our eyes. So therefore, it's called as Amurta. And it's called as Apara. Here the Apara does not mean phenomenal, because the Paramatma's form is actually transcendental only. Paramatma does not have a material form. Paramatma's form is transcendental. But here the word Apara means here the word apara means something other than Bhagavan. Na para iti aparaha. So paramurta was used to refer to Bhagavan. So apara amurta. Here the word apara means something which is other than Bhagavan. Other than Bhagavan. And it is amurta. It is amurta, it is invisible, but it has a form. Unlike the Brahman feature which has no form, but Paramatma has a form. So Paramatma is immanent, means immanence means is present everywhere within the universe. Whose form is imperceptible due to immanence. What is the dictionary meaning of the word immanent?
Yeah, Mukund Prabhuji, we had discussed this, no? You just tell.
Immanent means quality that has spread throughout something. Distributive. So Paramatma is present everywhere in the universe, because Paramatma is present in every atom. Paramatma is present in next to every living entity, every Atma. Therefore, he is immanent. So Apara Amurta refers to Paramatma, who is the immanent absolute truth, who is without a visible form, but who has a form, whose form is imperceptible due to immanence, because he is present everywhere in such a small way, in every atom, next to every Atma. So this is the first is the Paramatma. So these are the four aspects of the absolute truth described in the Padma Purana.
Prabhuji, I had pasted the meaning which we found in the...
Immanence refers to something, concept of something existing or remaining within something else. In a spiritual or philosophical context, it usually means a divine presence of inherent in the material world, as opposed to being distant or transcendent. So transcendent something means something which is beyond the material world, beyond the matter. Immanent, immanent means present within this world, in every atom. Well, the Paramatma is situated in a transcendental platform, but he is present in every atom. He is present in the world, everywhere. Immanent. For example, in many spiritual traditions, God is considered immanent, present within all beings and creation. So in the Christian tradition and all, they only talk about the transcendent aspect. They don't talk about the immanent aspect. But in Sanatana Dharma, we know the Paramatma is present everywhere. The immanent aspect is also being talked about. So you see, the original, the suffix is nai. Nai is the prefix. And the nai prefix, when it is attached to a word which begins with a vowel, then the nai prefix gets transformed to an. Adi is a word which begins with a vowel. But when you add the nai prefix with adi, nai will get transformed into an. Therefore, anadi. When the nai prefix is attached to a word which begins with a consonant, say for example, dharma, the nai will become a. It will become adharma. Like that. Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. So here, which is the word which is said in which this word comes? You just
So the
mentioned.
nai prefix comes in 6 different meanings. One of the meaning is negation, but another meaning is similarity. So here, apara amurta, which refers to the Paramatma, there the word apara comes in the meaning of similarity. Because Paramatma has a transcendental form. Is similar to the Bhagavan. But it is a different form, therefore apara. But when we say apara murta, in the case of apara murta, there the word apara, there the nai prefix comes in the meaning of negation. Apara murta refers to the Vishwarupa. There the word apara means phenomenal, opposite to para. Para is transcendental, apara is phenomenal. It is opposite to para. So there it comes in the sense of a negation. Para amurta. So here the word amurta, the nai prefix comes in the sense of a negation. Para amurta refers to transcendental, formless aspect. Amurta, formless aspect. But apara amurta, here the word akara does not come in the sense of a formless negation, but it is invisible because Paramatma has a form. Paramatma's form is described, but it is invisible. So therefore it comes in the moon of something different from or similarity to. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Now I've understood. Thank you so much.
We'll begin the 95th anuccheda. Very beautiful anuccheda. Basically, second verse of the Bhagavatam, Dharma Projita. That verse is described in this anuccheda. Very nice description Jiva Goswami has given for every word. अतएव श्रीमद्भागवतस्य निगमकल्पतरु परमफलभूतस्य श्रैष्ठ्ये सत्यपि तथा भूतस्यापि भगवदाख्य परमतत्त्वस्योत्कर्ष विद्यारूपत्वादेव परम श्रैष्ठ्यमाह. So therefore, Atayeva, Srimad Bhagavatasya, although Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Nigama Kalpataru, the supreme fruit of the wish fulfilling tree of the Vedas, Shraishtye Satyapi is superior, is already superior in many ways. But Tata Bhutasya Api, its supreme excellence is that what is the supreme excellence of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Bhagavadakya Paratatvasya Utkarsha Vidyarupatvadeva. Its supreme excellence is that it embodies the knowledge that attracts the absolute truth known as Bhagavan. It embodies the knowledge that attracts the supreme truth known as Bhagavan. And Paramashraishtyamaga Vedavyasa explains this as follows. The supreme excellence of Bhagavatam is that although Bhagavatam is the fruit of the Vedic tree, the supreme excellence of Bhagavatam is that it attracts the supreme absolute truth Bhagavan. So you can recite this shloka, you can repeat after me. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo
Dharma projita kaitavo paramo
nirmatsaranam satam
nirmatsaranam satam
vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam
Vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam
tapatrayonmulanam
tapatrayonamulanam
Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite
Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite
Kim va Parairishvara
Kim va Parairishvara
Sadyo Hridyavarudyate Kritibihi
Sadhyo Hridya Avarudhya Kritibhi
Shushrushubistakshanat.
Tushrusubhistatshanat.
The Supreme Lord is Sadhya, immediately. Avarudyate is arrested. Hridi, in the heart of the Kritibihi, virtuous. As soon as they desire to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Shushrushubihi Tat Kshanat, as soon as they so much desire to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what the nature of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Parama Dharma, which reveals the supreme duty of the self. Paramo Dharma. Dharma Projita Kaitavotra, devoid of all sense of deception or compromise. Projita Kaitavotra. And Nirmatsaranam Satam, which is undertaken by the pure-hearted, devoid of envy. And Vedyam Vastavamatra, the only true abiding substantive, Vastava Vastu, the only true abiding substantive, Vastava Vastu, Shivadam, which grants auspiciousness, and Tapatrayo Unmulanam, which uproots the threefold miseries. Is the truth investigated here in the Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavate. That is the only truth investigated here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Kimva. So, what is the need for any other scripture? Other than this beautiful Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavate. Mahamuni Krute, composed by the great sage Vyasadeva. Just, I'm just coming, 1 minute. So now he will explain each and every element of the shloka. Atra yasthavat dharmo nirupyate sa kalu savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhakti radokshati. So in this book, the Paramo, the supreme dharma, is mentioned here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that supreme dharma is described in verses such as Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshaje. Ityadikaya, that supreme dharma is described starting from the shloka Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo till the shloka 1.2.13. What is that shloka? Atap Pumbir Dvijashreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashaha Twanishtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Therefore, O best among the twice born, the perfection of duties attentively executed by people according to their varna and ashrama lies in the satisfaction of Sri Hari. Lies in the satisfaction of Sri Hari. So, Ityantaya means ending with this. Ending with this shloka. Ityantaya ritya Bhagavat Santoshana Ityantaya ritya Bhagavat Santosha Naika Tatparyena. It means Bhagavat Santoshana Eka Tatparyena. Bhagavat Santoshanaika Tatparyena Shuddha Bhakti Utpadakataya Nirupanat Paramayeva. That means in this Srimad Bhagavatam, the supreme dharma is described. What is the supreme dharma? The supreme dharma is that the purpose of that dharma is to, the only purpose of the dharma is to please the Supreme Lord. Bhagavat Santoshana Eka. The only purpose is to please the Supreme Lord. And that Supreme Dharma, Shuddha Bhakti Utpadakataya, which actually gives rise to pure devotional service. By generating pure devotional service. Pure devotional service only satisfies the Supreme Lord. Yataha sopi tadeka tatparyatvat prakarshena ujjitam kaitavam palabi sandhi lakshanam kapatam yasmin tatabhutaha. So because the Srimad Bhagavatam too is manifest for the sole purpose of pleasing the Lord, yataha, it therefore, because it is manifest, it is teaching the supreme dharma, which is the whose sole purpose is to please the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Bhagavatam rejects, it completely rejects prakarshena ujjitam, completely rejects kaitavam, completely rejects the deception, which is characterized by palabhisandhi lakshanam, which is characterized by seeking some fruits, which is characterized by gain seeking of all types, palabhisandhi lakshanam. Prashabdena सालोक्यादि सर्व प्रकार मोक्षाभि संधिरपि निरस्तः. So the pra shabda, by that all types of moksha, salokya mukti, sarupya, samipya mukti, sarshti mukti, sayujya mukti, all these mokshas are rejected. The desire for all these mokshas is also rejected. Even desires for various types of liberation are denounced. यत एवासौ तदेक तात्पर्यत्वेन निर्मत्सराणां फलकामुकस्येव परोत्कर्षा असहनम्, परोत्कर्षा सहनम matsarah. Matsara means what? Matsara means somebody who cannot tolerate others' advancement. Para utkarsha asahanam. That is matsara. Nirmatsara means opposite to that. When a person has envy, one cannot tolerate others' advancement. So such a person has usually a pala kamuka. He will have desire to enjoy the different fruits. Such people cannot tolerate others getting greater opulences. So, tad rahitanameva, that means not having that matsara. So, so this being the case, this dharma whose sole purpose is to please the Lord is prescribed for the virtuous, satam, attentively engaged in the prescribed duties. Tad rahitanameva, tad upalakshanattvena pashvalambane dayalunameva cha satam swadharma paranam vidiyate iti. So when we say nirmatsaranam, it also indicates people basically who are merciful, dayaluna, and who don't commit violence to animals, pashvalambane. It also indicates that by upalakshana. It also indicates such kind of people. And satam means swadharma parana, the virtuous. This being the case, the dharma whose sole purpose is to please the Lord is prescribed for the virtuous. Attentively engaged in their prescribed duties and who are without envy. Matsara means intolerance of the value found in others, which is typical of those who hanker for the fruits of their actions. Nirmatsara means an absence of this envy, and by extension, it also includes those merciful people who do not kill animals. Then further he says, Evam idrisham spashtam anuktavatah कर्मशास्त्रात् उपासना शास्त्राच्च अस्य तत्तत् प्रतिपादकांशे शैष्ट्यमुक्तम्. स्पष्टम अनुक्तवतः, although it is not explicitly stated, it is implicitly stated. What is implicitly stated? Srimad Bhagavatam is superior to the Karma Shastra and the Upasana Shastra. It is superior to the Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda. Because both Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda Ubayatraiva Dharmotpattehe. Because both Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda, the purpose of them is to give rise to Dharma. But Srimad Bhagavatam goes beyond that. Tadevam sati sakshat Shravana Kirtanadi Rupasya Vartati Durata Yevastam iti bhavaha. So this being the case, it cannot be expected that the intrinsic devotional dharma of hearing and chanting, the Lord's pastimes, expressed in the Bhagavatam, would be found in these other texts. That means, in the other texts, the Lord's pastimes of hearing and chanting, this cannot be found in other texts. It may be there, but not in the way it is presented in the Bhagavatam, in an exclusive way. Bhagavatam is superior to the Karma Shastra, Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda. Because
Hare Krishna,
Bhagavatam,
Prabhu.
Karma Kanda, very good.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry to disturb. We understand so far that Upasana Kanda is a devotional service.
No, here Upasana Kanda does not have a devotional service. We will discuss that actually. Bhagavatam is superior to Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda and Upasana Kanda. Sometimes in certain places, Upasana means basically worship. Simple meaning is Upasana worship. It will involve, Upasana Kanda will have worship of various devatas also. So Bhagavatam is something higher than Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda and Upasana Kanda. Higher than all three. I will read a section of the purport which describes the Upasana Kanda, which describes all these three. What is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. See. So there are three divisions of the Vedic literature: Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. So Karma Kanda basically deals with the fruitive activities and the purification of action. It is meant for basically those who are absorbed in the body-mind complex. Those who are absorbed in the self-identification which is tied to the body-mind complex and to the entire network of physical and social relations that such identification entails. As long as the conventional self-sense prevails, attachment to sensual, emotional, and mental gratification remains prominent. As long as the identification of the body remains, then people want to enjoy, gratify their senses. They want to have mental gratification, etc. So Karma Kanda addresses this level of self-identity, emphasizing that harmony and well-being even at the conventional level of existence. Okay, you want to enjoy sense gratification, but follow these rules, follow these processes. So, emphasizing that harmony and well-being, even at the conventional level of existence, is possible only by assuming responsibility for the consequences of one's actions in accordance with the universal laws. Follow the universal laws and try to enjoy your senses. So, the karma perspective thus regulates the unbridled desires for enjoyment. It regulates the unrestricted desires for enjoyment that create imbalance and disharmony in the self-system. And therefore, it gradually brings about the purification of desire and action. So Bhagavatam is superior to the Karma Kanda. And what about Upasana Kanda? Upasana Kanda deals with the meditation and worship. It is intended for those whose sense of self encompasses more truth than the body-mind complex. Something higher than somebody who is little more advanced than those who identify with the body and mind. Although still rooted in a separate self sense, there is the intuition that self and cosmos are grounded within a greater reality. That means they are they understand that there is something higher than the whole Brahmanda. There's something higher than the Atma and the Brahmanda. So Upasana Kanda is relevant at this level of self-identity, emphasizing that value for the self lies in seeking out its connection with that reality through well-informed disciplines such as meditation and worship, intended for that purpose. So one has to seek connection with that reality which is higher than our self and the cosmos. It teaches one to see everything as a manifestation of the Lord's energy, and thus allows the self sense to be expanded and reorganized at the higher dimensional frequency of Sattva Guna. A person is at the level of Sattva Guna. So Jnana Kanda deals with the ultimate reality beyond the cosmos and the gunas of nature. In Upasana Kanda, one may worship the different devatas, or one may see, oh, everything is the energy of the Supreme Lord. Like that. In Jnana Kanda, especially one is focused on the impersonal aspect. It is intended for those who have seen through the separate self sense altogether, at which point Karma Kanda is no longer of relevance. Jnana Kanda is applicable when the self concept proceeds the transcendental self or Atma. It refines awareness to strip away all the subtle layers of identification of the non-self and trains one to recognize everything as Brahman, leading ultimately to the realization of the unqualified absolute. So karma is intended for the body-mind self. Upasana is meant for the higher sattvic self. Jnana is meant for the Jnana Kanda is meant for the transcendental self. So Bhagavatam transcends all these three approaches. That is what we are saying. Coming back here. So now next paragraph. The next paragraph he says that Ata Jnanakanda Shakabhyopi Asya Purvavat Shraishtyamaha Vedyamiti. So the statement Vedyam Vastava Vastu, the only true abiding substance, is the truth to be investigated here in the Bhagavatam. This statement, Vedyam Vastava Vastu, the only true substantive, Vastava Vastu, is the truth to be investigated here in the Bhagavatam. This indicates that Bhagavatam is superior even to the Jnana Kanda Shastra. Bhagavad Bhakti Nirapeksha Prayeshu Teshu Pratipaditam Api Shreyashritim Bhakti Mudasya Te Vipo Ityadi Nyayena Vedyam Nishchayam na bhavati ityatra bhavati ityatraiva Vedyam ityartha. So the Jnana Kanda Shastras, they are generally Bhagavad Bhakti Nirapeksha. They are generally indifferent to the devotion of Bhagavan. And the Jnana Kanda Shastras, they lack definite knowledge of the truth which is to be known. So that is why the verse Brahmaji's prayer is quoted 10.14.4. Shreya Shrutim Bhakti Mudasya Te Vibhu. So those people who spurn devotion to you, who reject devotion to you, the path of supreme auspiciousness, O Supreme Lord, such people suffer many hardships to attain enlightenment. At the end, they are left with nothing more than their own fatigue. It is a useless labor. Those jnanis who reject the path of bhakti, they struggle hard in the path of jnana marga and they perform useless labor. So their effort is like beating empty husk of grain. When you beat empty husk of grain, you don't get rice at the end. You only get tired. That's all. Similarly, those who practice Jnana Marga without Bhakti, they simply get tired. And they will not get the result. So this indicates that definitive knowledge of the Absolute can be obtained only here from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore it is explained that Tan Mataika Deshi Shastrebhyo Vaishishtyamaha. Therefore Vyasadev describes the unique excellence of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Which is completely lacking in the scriptures of the Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda or Upasana Kanda. What is the unique excellence of the Bhagavatam? Shivam, Swarupam, Paramanandam Dadati. Shivadam and Tapatrayon Mulanam. Shivadam means it gives the supreme auspiciousness. Swarupam, Paramanandam Dadati. Anubhavayati. It grants auspiciousness. That means it causes one to experience the supremely blissful nature of the Lord. Tata tapatraya unmulayati. Unmulayati means what? Tan mula bhuta avidya paryantam kandayati iti. That means Srimad Bhagavatam removes the miseries, means it uproots the root cause of misery, that is avidya. It uproots the root cause of misery. Tata anyatra mukta anubhavamana. Tata anyatra mukta vanubhavamanane kya purushartatva patah syaditi tan mananadatra tu vaishishtyamiti. So the unique characteristic of the Srimad Bhagavatam is that distinguishes it, that distinguishes the Bhagavatam from the scriptures of the Jnana Marga is that the Jnana Kanda scriptures, they don't talk about any experience in the state of liberation. Muktau anubhavamanane, in the stage of mukti, one will not experience anything. That is what the Jnana Kanda scriptures talk about. So therefore, liberation of that kind is technically not a purushartha because you don't experience anything. Technically, you don't achieve anything. Tatanyatra muktav anubhava manane kya purushartatvat va patah syaditi tan mananadatra tu vaishishtyamiti. न चास्य तत्तद् दुर्लभ वस्तु साधनत्वे तादृश निरूपण सौष्ठवमेव कारणम. So therefore the liberation of that kind explained in the Jnanakanda scripture is technically not a purushartha. It is not a substantive reality to be attained. Bhagavatam, on the other hand, it accounts for the transcendental experience in the post-liberated state. Bhagavatam talks about the attainment of the transcendental absolute truth, Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam, which is experienced in the post-liberated state. So, and then one more paragraph we'll read. And then he says, Apitu Swarupam api ityaha Srimad Bhagavate iti. So furthermore, the cause of attaining these rare goals is not just the wonderful style in which Bhagavatam is presented, but the very nature of the Bhagavatam. Swarupam api ityaha. What is the very nature of the Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavate. This word is important. Srimad Bhagavate iti. Sri Bhagavatatvam Bhagavat Pratipadakatvam Srimatvam Sri Bhagavan Namaderiva Tadrisha Swabhavika Shaktimatvam Sri Bhagavatatvam. So this is demonstrated by the name of the book. So Bhagavata means what? Bhagavata means Bhagavat Pratipadakatvam. Bhagavata means that it establishes Bhagavan, therefore it is called as Bhagavata. And Srimat means what? Srimatvam. Srimat means it has a potency to do so in its essential nature. It has a potency to expound Bhagavan in its essential nature. Just as the names and other attributes of Bhagavan inherently contain such a potency. Namna makari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. Tatrarpita niyamitaha smaranena kalaha. Etadrishi tava kripa Bhagavan mamapi. For the last slide. Etadrishi tava kripa Bhagavan mamapi. So namna makari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. All the energies of the Supreme Absolute Truth, all the power of Krishna is invested in his holy name. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is invested with the energies of Krishna. Srimat, that is the significance of the word Srimat. All the attributes of Bhagavan inherently are inherently present in the names of Bhagavan. Similarly, all the attributes of Bhagavan are inherently present in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Srimad, what is the prefix, what is the pratyaya which is used here? The suffix is matup pratyaya. Shri plus matup pratyaya. The matup pratyaya comes in the meaning of Nitya Yoge Matup. It indicates the eternal union. That means inclusion of the quality to which it is afflicted. Eternally. That means Shri refers to the potency of Bhagavan. Srimad Bhagavatam means Bhagavata is eternally infused with the potency of Bhagavan. Bhagavatam is eternally combined with the potency of Bhagavan. Srimad Bhagavata. So there is an example given. Atayeva samastatayaiva nirdishya Nilotpaladivat tan namattvameva bodhitam. Anyata tu avimrishta videyamsha doshasyat. So with this will end. Hence, by writing Srimad Bhagavata as a compound word, the author has informed us that this is the complete name of the book, such as in the case of a blue lotus. So Srimad Bhagavata is a complete name of the book. So otherwise, it would introduce a defect called as avimrishta videyamsha. This is a technical term we have to understand. Wherein the primary member of a compound word is treated as secondary. What is avimrishta videyamsha? This term also comes in that when Keshav Kashmiri composed 100 shlokas in glorification of Ganges, Nimai Pandit analyzes the 64th shloka. And when he is analyzing that shloka, the defects in that shloka, one of the defects he points out is that avimrishta videyamsha. So avimrishta videyamsha means that normally there is a subject and a predicate. Subject is something which is known. Predicate is something which is unknown. Usually, we will state the subject first and then the predicate will be stated after that. When we say Ram is a poet, Ram, the person Ram is somebody known. So we state that first. What is not known is that he is a poet. That is stated later. Ram is a poet. This is the normal way of speaking something. If we say a poet is a Ram, so first when you say a poet, that means immediately a person comes to a question, oh, whom is he talking about? And then you say a poet is a Ram. So this is in the sentence, a poet is a Ram, you have mentioned the predicate before the subject. You have mentioned the unknown thing before the subject. If the predicate is placed before the subject, a poet is Ram, then the confusion is introduced. Because when the friend first hears the word poet, he would not know to whom it is being referred, to whom it refers. So, if the Srimad, in the case of the Srimad Bhagavata, if the Srimad word is not an equal part of the name, Srimad word, if it is not an equal part of the name, and yet one uses it to refer to the book, if the Srimad is like the Visheshana of the Bhagavata, that means you are first stating the predicate and then you are stating the subject. If the Srimad is not an equal part of the name, and yet one uses it to refer to the book, then one is putting the predicate before the subject. And this is considered a defect because this defect of avimrishta vidayamsha delays comprehension of the sentence. It is considered a defect. Therefore, in this case, Srimad Bhagavata, Srimad is a equal part of the name of the book. Srimad is a equal part of the name of the book, just like Blue Lotus. Blue Lotus, blue is a equal part of the name. Similarly, Srimad is the equal part of the name. That is what is being stated here. So by writing Srimad Bhagavata as a compound word, Srimad Bhagavata as a compound word, the author has informed us that this is a complete name of the book. The complete name of the book is not just Bhagavatam, it is the Srimad Bhagavata. That is the complete name of the book. Yeah, sometimes we simply say the word Bhagavata, just like sometimes Satyavama is called as Bama. In a Vyavahara, we may say Bama, but the complete name is Satyabhama. Similarly, complete name of the book is Srimad Bhagavata. So the Srimad is not part of the name of the book. The Srimad is not an equal part of the name, and still one is using it to refer to the book. Then there would be the defect of avimrishta vidayamsha, that is stating the predicate before the subject. Therefore, in order to avoid that, such defect cannot be present in the shloka. So therefore, Srimad is an equal part of the name of the book. So that is what is mentioned here. So the last this one. Atoktam Shri Garude Granthoshtada Grantha Ashtadasha Sahasraha Srimad Bhagavatabhidaha iti. Tika Kridbirapi Srimad Bhagavatabhidaha Surataruhu iti. Ataha Kvachit Kevala Bhagavatakyatvam tu Satyabhama Bama itivat. Therefore, the Garuda Puran states that the book containing 18,000 verses is called Srimad Bhagavatam. The Garuda Puran is using the word Srimad Bhagavata, not only Bhagavata. And the Sridhar Swami commentator states that he is also using the word complete name, Srimad Bhagavata. Srimad Bhagavata is a divine tree. But sometimes if the book is named as only Bhagavata, we should understand that it is an abbreviated form. Just like Satyavama is called sometimes only by the word Bama. But the complete name of the book is Srimad Bhagavata, not only Bhagavata. And Bhagavata means what? Bhagavat Pratipadakatvam, that which establishes Bhagavan. Srimad means it is endowed with all the potencies of Bhagavan. Just like the name of Krishna, Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Name of Krishna, all the Shaktis of Krishna are invested in the names of Krishna. Similarly, all the potencies of Krishna are invested in the Srimad Bhagavata. Are invested in the Srimad Bhagavata. So, further we will see. We'll complete this anuccheda next week and go through the commentary. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, it's a very wonderful explanation. because Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is close to heart of every devotee. And explaining Bhagavatam in a real time and real sense, it makes one to go to understand it in a better way. That explanation gives us the special allowance. This explanation, number one. Number two, my question is, Prabhu, we understand that the book Bhagavata and person Bhagavata we come across many times in the Prabhupada purport also. That person Bhagavata is to be taken as a Satyabhama example, or that Bhagavata, person Bhagavata is a different from Srimad Bhagavata, that connotation, name connotation.
Acha,
How
acha.
do we understand both, Prabhu?
Yeah, person Bhagavata is not called as Srimad Bhagavata. Person Bhagavata is called as Bhagavata only. Person Bhagavata. Person Bhagavata, there the word Bhagavata will have a different Vyutpatti. Vyutpatti means not Vyutpatti. It will have a different Vigraha Vakya. Person Bhagavata, Bhagavata, the Vigraha Vakya will be one who worships Bhagavan is Bhagavata. One who worships Bhagavan. Just like there is Indra and Aindra. Indra refers to Indra Devata. Aindra refers to one who worships Bhagavan. One who worships Indra. He is called as Aindra. In Indra, you add a certain pratyaya, then it will become Aindra. For example, other example is Surya. It refers to Surya Dev. But Shauraya, Shauri refers to worshipper of Surya Dev. Similarly, Bhagavata, Bhagavan and Bhagavata. Bhagavata, when we say the person Bhagavata, there the word Bhagavata refers to worshipper of Bhagavan, devotee of Bhagavan. There is a different Vigraha Vakya for that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Right. So very important anuccheda. Each and every aspect of the shloka, very important shloka, is explained very nicely. And then the next anuccheda is the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, second canto. Very detailed. See that. Okay, we end here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.